Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hasna Elita. Now, I will discuss about English education for early childhood learner. English education for early childhood. This article discusses about English education for early childhood. One's ability to use English is needed along with the progress of a country. This is a reason why English as an international language began introduced as soon as possible to the student in Indonesia nowadays. English education will be ideal if it starts from an early age, especially before the children turn into 12 years old. Early childhood, it is the child on the range about 2 until 7 years. In that age is a golden period in the development of children's language skill. Therefore, English for children requires a proper and effective method in teaching process. In the globalization era, it is required people in mastering English both spoken and written. This demand makes the parents come to put their children in a national or international school which have good level in English as the language media in the classroom. Actually, at what age should the children learn English as foreign language and what are the appropriate methods in teaching for early childhood students? English learner method for early childhood learner. Number 1, art and culture, such as storytelling, role play, art or craft, games, show and tell play. And number 2, music and movement, like singing, active movement, and poetry. And number 3, communicative. Context include the social context, telling stories, and always being communicative. And the last, play. Learning while playing is what makes children happier and less boring. Language cognitive development of young learner. The development of the children's language has actually started since the children were born with using the simple language or pre-talking that is crying. Then it is developed in the form of babbling and simple word sentence accompanied by movement body. In education psychology, there is a theory of learning that can be used as the foundation of teaching learning model which is quite famous in the intellectual cognitive development approach triggered by Jean Piaget. For every individual person has the stage of intellectual development. Stage of intellectual development. Number 1, sensory motor stage. From 0 and 2 years, at this stage, the children begin to learn and controlling the environment through the ability of the five sense and movement. Number 2, pre-operational stage. From 2 and 7 years, the children are trying to master symbols and able to express the experience even though it is not logic. Number 3, concrete operational stage. It is from 7 and 12 years of age. At this stage, the children understand and thinking concretely. Generally, at this stage, the children already have the ability to understand the concept of conservation, that is, even if an object change its shape, but its mass, its amount, or its volume is fixed and not changed. And the last, formal operational stage. This from 11 to 5 years. At this stage, the children are able to think abstractly. At this stage, the children are already on the stage of abstracting. Like Maria Montessori say, speaking skill is very useful for communicating with the environment. Based on the theory, it is appropriate if English is introduced to the children as early as possible. The qualified teacher who can bring the learning meaningful and fun. And the conclusion is based on the description above, it can be formulated some conclusion as follows. First, English is the international language that dominates the communication era to connect and transfer things entire the world. Nowadays, mastering English is a very important skill in the information and communication for communication era. These foreign language skills are required for mastering Sinch, having a wide social interactive and having a better career. And also, English is great to teach to early childhood. Search Nanik Sobika English Education for Early Childhood Learner Fall 12 Number 1 2008 2018. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.